The recent visit to Taiwan by the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, has infuriated the Chinese people. If you can't understand why, watch this video. Why do Chinese strongly oppose any attempt to split Taiwan from China? Because Taiwan has belonged to China since ancient times, something on which there is consensus in China. So, first of all, history. The record of Taiwan in ancient Chinese masterpieces goes back 3,000 years. What is now called Taiwan is recorded as Daoyi in the Book of Documents, Shangshu, one of the Confucian classics. During the Tang, Song, and Yuan dynasties, Taiwan was called Liuqiu. Several expeditions, each consisting of more than 10,000 men, were sent to Taiwan by the state of Wu and the Sui dynasty. By 1893, the population exceeded 2.5 million. Thanks to hard toil by the pioneers, the island flourished. This is the historical fact of how Taiwan, like other parts of China, came to be opened up and settled. Chinese governments of different periods set up administrative bodies to exercise jurisdiction over Taiwan. As early as the mid-12th century, the Song dynasty set up a garrison in Penghu, an archipelago in the Taiwan Straits. In 1885, the Qing government formally made Taiwan a full province. After the Chinese people's victory in the war against Japanese aggression in 1945, the Chinese government reinstated its administrative authority in Taiwan province. Chinese on both sides of the Taiwan Straits carried out a prolonged, unremitting struggle against foreign invasion and occupation of Taiwan. In 1662, General Zhang Chenggong expelled Dutch colonists from Taiwan. In 1894, Japan launched a war of aggression against China. In the ensuing year, as a result of the fall of the Qing rulers, the government was forced to sign the Treaty of Shimonoseki, ceding Taiwan to Japan. In 1931, Japan once again waged war against China. After 14 years of grueling resistance, the Chinese people won final victory and recovered the lost territory of Taiwan in 1945. The world has long acknowledged that Taiwan is part of China. At the end of World War II in 1943, the leaders of China, the United States, and Britain issued the Cairo Declaration, which clearly states that all territories Japan stole from the Chinese, such as Taiwan, shall be restored to China. The Potsdam Proclamation, signed in 1945, reinforced the point, saying, "The terms of the Cairo Declaration shall be carried out." In 1971, the United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 2758, recognizing that the government of the People's Republic of China was the sole legal government of China. Have Chinese overreacted to Pelosi's visit? Now that you know that Taiwan is an inalienable part of China, the answer to this question is obviously a clear no. So China's taking countermeasures in response is absolutely legitimate. Pelosi's visit was both totally unnecessary and utterly provocative, made in flagrant disregard to China's strong opposition. The visit seriously violated the One China principle that the U.S. says it respects, and the provisions of the three China-U.S. joint communiques, wantonly meddling in China's internal affairs. For decades, the U.S. has repeatedly meddled and acted in bad faith on the Taiwan question. After World War II, guided by its global ambitions, the U.S. government provided money, weapons, and advisors to carry on China's civil war and obstruct Taiwan's reunification with the mainland. At the time that the People's Republic of China was proclaimed on 1949, a group of the Kuomintang clique took refuge in Taiwan. In 1950, the U.S. 7th Fleet sailed to the Taiwan Straits, and the U.S. 13th Air Force set up base in Taiwan. In December 1954, the U.S. colluded with the province of Taiwan, what was called a Mutual Defense Treaty, placing it under U.S. so-called protection. It was not until 1972, in order to ease tension between the two countries and to counter the Soviet Union, U.S. President Richard Nixon made his historical visit to China, in the course of which the two countries issued a communique in Shanghai saying that the U.S. side declared, "The United States acknowledges that all Chinese on either side of the Taiwan Straits maintain there is but one China and that Taiwan is a part of China." On January 1, 1979, China and the U.S. formally established diplomatic relations. The communique on the establishment of diplomatic relations said that the United States of America recognizes the government of the People's Republic of China as the sole legal government of China. And the government of the United States of America acknowledges the Chinese position that there is but one China and Taiwan is part of China. Regrettably, 3 months later, the U.S. Congress adopted a piece of legislation called the Taiwan Relations Act. Invoking this legislation, the U.S. has continued its arms sales to Taiwan. In order to resolve the issue of U.S. arms sales to Taiwan, the Chinese and U.S. governments negotiated and reached an agreement in August 1982. A communique bearing the same date became the third joint communique governing China-U.S. relations. Yet, over the past few decades, the U.S. government has repeatedly violated it. In September 1992, the U.S. government even decided to sell 150 F-16 fighter aircraft to Taiwan. In all of this, we can see that the gross U.S. interference on the Taiwan question has seriously affected China-U.S. relations and deeply offended Chinese people. The Taiwan question is all about China's sovereignty and unity. It has nothing to do with democracy. Pelosi's visit has aroused the indignation of the people of China. If the U.S. truly values democracy and people's wishes, it cannot ignore the wishes of 1.4 billion people, 1/5 of the world's population.